This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with Tennessee Highway Patrol. Pedestrian safety is a two-way street. Both drivers and walkers need to do their part to keep roads safe. When you're walking, remember, the drivers may not always see you, so remember to use these tips to continue to walk safely. Wear bright clothes. Always use crosswalks and obey signs. Lights and reflectors should be used. And finally, keep alert and do not walk distracted. This message brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances have the best prices in town, sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks, I'm telling you, they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances. Graphic Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copies, resumes, funeral programs, rubber stamps, full color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30 plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Graphic Printing. C&S Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Summer Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. C&S Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris today for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at C&S Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778. 2508 Summer Avenue, C&S Motors Auto Sales.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, watch video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record broadcast video on a cell phone or a mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or a device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.
And welcome. We are live and in full effect right here on Talkback Live Network. This is Talkback Live Sports. I am your host, Joshua Midget. We are live and in full effect here in the Talkback Live Network studios on a dreary-looking Monday afternoon, 2:25 p.m. And man, I definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in wherever you may be, however you may be checking me out, whether watching on Facebook, whether listening on Spreaker, and doing all those different things, man. We definitely appreciate that. So, number to call, as you can see going across the top of the screen, if you want to join the conversation, is 901-213-6020. Once again, 901-213-6020 is the number to call if you want to join the conversation. A couple of things I want to get into today will be on till about 3 o'clock, so y'all stick and stay. Definitely appreciate, once again, the people I already see jumping on in here to join me on this episode. So, we talked about stuff this morning, and just want to continue some of that as well as some other things that I have with you on today that we can dive into. So, once again, I want to remind you guys, share this video if you get the opportunity to, which is right there at the bottom of your screen. So I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do that. Hit the share button, and it'll be much appreciated, as I appreciate you guys doing on each and every one of our videos. So, what's up, man? I see you, Greg. What's going on? He says, warm out here. Yeah, that's true. Dreary looking, but warm. It's weird for December. No question. But it's warm out here in the sports world as well. Because, man, so much went on. Really, even overtook the NFL weekend. Because I am extremely hyped. As a Tennessee Titans fan, I am incredibly hyped right now. Because our team has won 7 of the last 8. And we have plenty of reasons to be excited as of right now. Ryan Tannehill is performing like a top 5, not even a top 10, like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. And if you don't believe me, look at his quarterback rating. Look at his yards per attempt. Look at what he did over the last 4 games. One of 3 quarterbacks in NFL history. Only 3 have ever done what Tannehill's done over the last 4 games to have as high of a QBR as he has had. Not only has he been efficient, he has been dominant. He's got a confidence that I've never seen in his career. And I followed him going back to Miami, going back to Texas A&M, when he was a wide receiver turned quarterback. I don't think anybody could have seen, maybe except the Titans general manager John Robinson, what we see right now. But I'm going to get to that in a little bit later and dive into that some more. But top story has been, I've been listening to some sports radio this afternoon, and everybody's talking about Norvell. Of course, going to Florida State. Everybody's talking about the Memphis Tigers football team headed to the Cotton Bowl for the first time in the history of the football team. As you see there, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic in Dallas, Texas. So y'all Cowboys fans, I'm sure you're excited about that. The Tigers are headed to Dallas to play in Jerry World, as they call it, a.k.a. AT&T Stadium down there. So we're all excited about that. Also, and I even have, it was so much going on, didn't even have the time to put the appropriate pictures up here. And I got pictures for a lot of the things I'm going to talk about, but it doesn't even cover everything. Let's not forget, in the midst of all of this has happened, that the Memphis Tigers basketball team had an outstanding win this weekend. You talk about going into UAB for the Bartow Classic, a matchup that is usually pretty treacherous for the Memphis Tigers basketball team. I mean, you know,
even going back to, I remember Tubby Smith, I think it was his first or second year, one of the most boring games I've ever seen. But it was struggling down there. UAB is their ugly, dreary stadium down there. It's just something about that building. It's just terrible to play in. I don't know what it is. But the Tigers and this extremely talented team went down there and struggled mightily. I think they just looked around and said, what are we doing here? And they couldn't score. They couldn't shoot. They couldn't make a layup. They couldn't do anything to save their lives for quite a while. But they got it going and came around and defeated UAB in a very exciting game when it came down to the wire. But the Tigers were down by as much as 20. But they rallied back as the team that is more talented should do and come back and win the game. I see some of y'all saw this morning. Shout out to you for coming in once again. Yes, this is live. Yes, sir. Rod Tegrit. Yes, this is my afternoon sports show. I know you see me in the morning. That was the Talk Back Live with Bob and Josh in the morning. But now, this is me live. So hello, brother. Good to see you. That Grizz guy, good to see you, man. Appreciate the comment as well. There. So, Tigers with a big basketball win. Just paying some attention to some things that has been kind of ignored or overlooked because of all the Norvell stuff going on. Not to say that's a bad thing, but there's been other stuff going on. Penny Hardaway doing his thing with the basketball team. And who would have thought, may have said this a little earlier, I don't know, but I know I was thinking it. Who would have thought that with as exciting of a basketball season we have coming up, I don't know, maybe it's because James Wiseman's been suspended for the games that he's going to be out. Maybe some of the excitement has dropped for some Tiger fans, even though there's elite talent all up and down that roster. But Wiseman was what a lot of people say is the main attraction. Y'all let me know how you felt about that. But all I know is I don't think anybody would have thought that Memphis football would dominate the headlines so much in a season where Penny Hardaway is coaching the Tigers basketball team, where they have that extremely talented recruiting class coming in. It's all about Tiger football. And hey, it's just one of those things. And personally, I love it because I think this is the way it should be in a lot of major universities. There's no knock on the basketball program, but we all know when football is done right, it's the moneymaker for most universities. And for quite a while now, going back to Justin Fuente, football has been done right at Memphis. By Norvell, by Fuente, by Tom Bowen, our ex-athletic director. So these are all things to consider and to take into account when you talk about these things. So I don't know, man. All I know is it's quite a time to be a Tigers fan, media person that covers the team and things of that nature. So just so much happening, and it's a great thing. So I talked about the Cotton Bowl. Let's look at that for a moment. You see the Tigers AAC champions after defeating Cincinnati for a second straight time. Cotton Bowl, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl to be exact, classic, that will be in Dallas. And we will be facing the Penn State Nittany Lions. Now, I know in a lot of these groups out here and a lot of Facebook and Twitter and text messages and phone calls, discussions, a lot of people were thinking, hey, we may end up taking on Bama. The Alabama Crimson Tide, Nick Saban. That was the rumor. Even ESPN fueled those rumors by putting it out there that was the projected matchup for Memphis. But it is not to be, as Michigan is going to take on Alabama in a matchup of two blue buds there. That's going to be very interesting to see. Jim Harbaugh versus Nick Saban. But even more importantly, we got the Tigers against James Franklin, who I respect very much as a head coach for the job he's done, and the Nittany Lions. So let's think about this, y'all. Hit on this morning some, but I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. how do you feel, or who do you feel you would want to coach in the bowl game this year? And some of y'all called in and answered that question, and if you didn't hear it, here it is again. Would you rather Mike Norvell come back and coach this final game and finish the job and finish strong, as they always say? Or do you want the Tigers to stick with Ryan Silverfield, who we've heard a lot from over the past day or so, and move on in the new direction? Leave Norvell in the past and move on to the present and the future. How do we feel about this? And I think this is crucial because when you talk about game planning and you talk about all this stuff, you talk about things that you're used to. This team is used to, they're used to both of these guys. Don't get me wrong. You know, Silverfield's been there, and so is Norvell and everybody else. But it's different when there's a different leader involved. Silverfield versus Norvell, this would be Silverfield's first time heading a team, heading into the biggest bowl in the history of the Tigers program. Or would you rather Norvell be that leader, even though he is split amongst two opinions, if you want to use that phrase, between Florida State and Memphis? Would that be to the benefit of the Tigers if that were to happen that way? I have my doubts. I really do. You know, and I would love for Norvell to finish it strong, man. But I would just feel kind of weird, man. You just had Florida State colors on. You're down there doing the chop. You know what I'm saying? And the band, you're down there on Bobby Bowden Field doing all this stuff and then coming back for the bowl game? I don't know. I just don't know. Now, as a reference point, as I consistently say, Scott Frost, when UCF had that incredible run where they beat Memphis in the first AAC championship game, what did he do? He immediately was announced as the head coach at Nebraska, very similar to what Norvell had. And immediately afterwards, he had the press conference at Nebraska. Then several weeks later, when they went to play Auburn in the bowl game, he came back and they allowed him to coach that final game with the guys. So it can be done because UCF actually won that game. And they won it convincingly. So, hey, who knows? But you guys let me know what you think. I see some comments here. Let's see. Rod Tigrit, my man, he says, what a shift, what a change in the shift, and love Penny and the staff promoting football. Yeah, that's true. That's what I love, man. No jealousy being shown there. Penny has always, even from when the season started, you know, he was on the sideline, people were asking him questions. He constantly redirected people, said, no, pay attention to that field. You know, it ain't about me. In this aspect, it's about the Tigers football program. And a good thing people have heeded to that. Wendell Davis says the Tigers are number 8 in the Amway coaches poll. They're 8th in the country right now. Number 8, really. I haven't looked at the polls today. Wendell also says no, stick with RS Silverfield. Rod says stick with Silverfield as well. I need to see this coaches poll because, good grief, I did not expect to hear that the Tigers jumped that much. But another win against a ranked team, I would imagine that should boost the Tigers' statistics. Now, I don't know how much it matters that it's the same ranked team twice, but either way it goes, it's a ranked team, right? It's the way it should be. But you guys, let me know if you've heard the same thing. Tigers up to number 8 in the coaches poll. Good grief. Okay, I see. It looks like the AP has them 15. And we'll see. I have not seen the coaches poll yet. But I'll take your word for it, man. GKP, what's happening, brother? Good to see you coming in. Y'all already know who it is. What's good, brother? But I'm hearing that the Tigers are 8th in the coaches poll. If anybody can confirm that for me, please let me know. As I am currently Googling that. Because that is, it's kind of crucial for me to find out right now. Okay, let's see here. Rankings. They are, not sure if that's up to date as of yet. Because that still says 17th, and I don't know, that's definitely not up to date. Let's get out of Bing and go to Google instead. But if y'all want to do that for me, feel free to do so. But if they're number 8, that is incredible. But I'm going to tell you this. This is what I hit on earlier. Not to get too distracted. If the Tigers do beat Penn State, which would be the dream scenario, do you know what that would do for next year and going forward? Because I had a talk with somebody and he brought up an excellent point. It's my guy, Evan DeVoe. He brought up an excellent point. He said, look, it is one thing to make it to the Cotton Bowl. It's another thing to win it. Because if you defeat Penn State, a legitimate contender, Penn State was right there with Ohio State if you saw when they played each other. And to me, I think Ohio State is the best team in the country, football-wise, period. Penn State was right there with them step for step. They didn't look like they didn't belong on the field. So if the Tigers were to go in there and defeat Penn State, not only is that huge for the cachet of the Memphis program, but let's look forward to next year. The only way a non-Power 5 school would ever have a chance to make the college football playoff is to get a favorable preseason ranking heading into the new year. And do you guys know, if Memphis were to go in there and beat the 10th ranked, according to my guy Wendell Davis here on Facebook Live with the comment, 10th ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. And it didn't even have to be soundly. It was just defeat them. Can you imagine, first of all, where that would leave Memphis with the end of the season rankings, and then head into next season with the recruiting class they're bringing in. And also, I'm sure, not sure if it should matter, but I'm sure whoever the head coach will be will factor into it as well as all the people that you're bringing back. You know, can you imagine where the Tigers could end up ranked to start next season? If you end up ranked, let's say top 15, let alone top, around 12 or 13 to start the season, that really puts you in the conversation. And even that, I know it would be tough if you're not a Power 5 school, but think about the head start you get. Usually, even last year, as good as Memphis was, going back several years when Memphis was ranked, what happened when the preseason rankings come around? They drop them all the way out of the top 25, where you got to work your way up from the 30s. And at that point, it doesn't matter who you beat unless it's Alabama and Ohio State in back-to-back weeks. You're not going to jump into the conversation. You're done before you start it. Now, you win this game against Penn State, and the whole game changes. You just have to be sure to not lose in the regular season. But if Memphis goes on a run like they did this year, next year, after beating a Penn State, and this is all assuming that happens, which is a huge assumption to make, but just assuming that happens, you set yourself up for an outstanding situation heading into next season. So y'all let me know what you think about that. You can also call into the show 901-213-6020. As you see there, the beautiful shot. We're talking about basketball, GK. Not basketball, we're talking about football, GKP. That's what I'm saying. Basketball, it doesn't matter with rankings. You got an NCAA tournament, and everything's even Steven when it comes to that. But I'm talking about football. If Memphis ends up getting ranked around the top 10 or anywhere around the top 15, you legitimately have a chance from that point on to get up in that conversation. I see Phoenix. What's going on? Johnson. in the building, joining the conversation as well. I know he put some comments up somewhere else, which I'm going to get to. One of the watch parties I started. So let me find that as well. All right, here we go. Football first. He says, I want us to become a football first school. So there it is. And what we know, football first usually is a big benefit, money-wise. So I definitely understand that. And if you still want to, even entertain the possibility of heading into a Power 5 conference, football is what they're going to be looking at. It just is what it is. They're going to look at all of it, but football, most importantly, And so we'll see what happens, man. But now, here's the other argument. And these are all what ifs. It's kind of conjecture that we're getting into right now. But let's think about this. If a Power 5 school is looking at, expanding, Memphis is clearly going to be up near the top of teams that, you consider. But at the same time, you're going to have this concern that Memphis is too good to bring into their conference. Because you guarantee, let's look at a Big 12, right? You already heard rumors of that back when Memphis was just getting started, turning into a good football program. Imagine now, teams like Texas and Oklahoma, I don't think they're going to want Memphis in their conference. Unfortunately, you look at this program and the danger that we could present to those teams in recruiting and everything else, I don't think they'd want Memphis around. So you got to get it however you can. Rod says, going to be war with Penn State. I agree 1,000%. It's a great team. But what I love about it, as far as the actual football team, the nation will get to see. We've seen, we've been on ABC and ESPN all year. So Memphis is kind of, I would imagine some people are getting warmed up to what Memphis is. But if they haven't, they're going to get warmed up to what athletes are on this Tigers team. Talking about everybody from Kenneth Gainwell to Antonio Gibson, who's going to be in the league next year, to DeMonte Coxey, to, so many other guys. Joey Magnifico, I haven't heard much from him lately because you got so many guys. All up and down this roster, guys who can't even name, that come up off the bench, they come out running a 4-2 and running kickoffs for touchdowns. So that's just part of the outstanding recruiting that the Tigers have done. So once again, cannot wait. Also, you guys, if you feel free to donate to the network here, you see Cash App information on your screen, and we definitely appreciate every little bit that you guys will be willing to do. And there it is right there on the screen, the Cash App information. I know some people are asking about that this morning. So there it is. Whenever, wherever, we definitely appreciate it. If you enjoy my content and Mia Bob's content and all the different shows and efforts that we're putting out there, hit us up on that Cash App, and we will definitely be much appreciative of it. So, in a few minutes I have remaining, I hit on some NFL a little bit earlier. I hit on my Titans. I don't have a picture of my Titans, but I did hit on my Titans because we had a huge win against the Oakland Raiders this weekend. The Titans, my Titans, are now 8-5, heading into the final 3 weeks of the season. Nobody could have saw this coming. After starting 2-4, won 7 of the last 8, we're 8-5, and man, oh man, I am fired up. We're tied for first place in the AFC South with the Houston Texans, and we finished the season playing Houston 2 of the last 3 weeks of the season. So that is going to be something to see. And hopefully we come out on the right side of that that situation. So y'all keep in mind for that. Also, for y'all that are Patriots fans, you may need to be a little bit concerned because the Patriots lose again. They have lost a couple in a row, and I think there's reason to be concerned. Now, look, I know if you're Patriots fans, you're thinking, hey, look, we ain't concerned about nothing because we are the Patriots. We don't play until the postseason. Well, y'all may need to change that theory because whatever you're doing ain't working right now. I mean, you know, the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that we just beat, we being my Titans, just beat and handled pretty soundly. Sure what that was, but handled pretty soundly. And now, you know, the Baltimore Ravens are the number one team in the AFC right now with that loss by the Patriots. So they look vulnerable as ever. They can't figure out what's going on in their offense. They just don't have the receivers that they once did. You know, with Julian Edelman, there's no Gronk. They really have one guy, it's Julian Edelman, who's outstanding. But you're going to need more than that. You just are. And the AFC is kind of sneaking up on people. You got the Buffalo Bills right behind the Patriots. You know, even though I believe they lost to the Ravens this weekend. You got the Titans coming on strong with a solid defense, a solid running game. Ryan Tannehill, who would have thought Ryan Tannehill? Looks like, I mean, I don't know if John Robinson, the Titans general manager, is a genius or what, but I'll take whatever's going on. He is in the top 10 in most categories, and even number one in a lot of categories for starting quarterbacks in this league. Who would have thought that, man? Best decision they ever made was to bench Mariota when they did. And I was a Mariota supporter. He's a great guy. Seems like an outstanding person. But it doesn't matter when it comes to football. It's about wins. And right now, Tannehill is getting those wins. Also, don't let me discount the man that matters. That's right, Phineas, man. Go Titans, tighten up the Indeed. Man, yeah, what you said about John Martin, it is what it is. I know he's a Raiders fan, so he'll just get over it right there. Let's see what else we got here. Some comments I did not see here. Hold on. Never going to happen in Memphis, GKP says about Memphis football. Really? GKP said, we're still ranked 17th right now. Okay, so yes, I was wondering about that. Phoenix says, I like how Tiger football is the biggest news in the city. Football first, that's true. It's kind of hit on a little earlier. Greg says, beating Penn State will definitely keep them in the top 15 starting next season. Dare I say top 10. See, y'all are feeling what I'm flowing with earlier. Johnson says Ryan Silverfield should be because the coach. They don't need to get cute and go make a crazy hire like Barry Odom. I really do think, and man, I wish I'd hit on that a little bit earlier, but I really do think Barry Odom would be terrible. I think Barry Odom would be terrible. Here's why. One, he turned down the Memphis job before Mike Norvell got it. He was Memphis's number one target before they hired Mike Norvell. Barry Odom decided to go to his alma mater in Missouri. That's fine. But he failed there. Now he's trying to come back. I'm not really feeling that. Two, I just don't know how to feel about a defensive coordinator. Now, he's a good defensive coordinator. If you remember, Barry Odom served under Justin Fuente. And under Fuente, Barry Odom had the Tigers' defense in the top 10 in the country overall. They were outstanding. Guys like Tank Jakes and company. So if you remember that team. GKP says, never going to happen in Memphis. basketball rules. Really? Okay. Well, we'll see. Because right now, football is ruling. But I understand what you're saying. I never thought it would happen. Look, I mean, let's go back the past 3-4 weeks. And to be honest with you, football has been ruling today. So I don't know. Phineas says, we don't have to worry about basketball. If you keep football rolling, we can get in a Power 5. He also says those Big 12 schools aren't scared of us in football. The Big 12 is a perfect. I would love the Big 12. Big 12 would be absolutely outstanding for Memphis football. Also, Rod Tigrit says Penn State offensive coordinator Ricky Rain just announced as the head coach at Old Dominion. Really? And he says, I wonder if he coaches in the Cotton Bowl. That's very interesting. That is very interesting. Let's see. Finhas. I hope I'm saying your name right, brother. He says the Cotton will be a close game. I hope we just don't get blown out on national TV. Penn State is good. Yes. That's the danger. I know we're confident, and I'm confident. I think the Tigers are capable of keeping pace with a team like that offensively. But defensively, we already know. Memphis is going to give up points. They're going to give up yards, and they're going to give up points. Even though I like some players on this defense, I think Penn State's going to score a ton of points. And Memphis is going to have to keep pace. And we know we can, so I think we're going to be in store for a shootout in the Cotton Bowl. Let's see. Phoenix also responds to Jay by saying football is king in college. If we want to make advancements in a Power 5, gotta have football first. So there's that. Rod says, what up, Finn? So he's shouting you out, brother. Let me scroll back here. Got a couple comments in the other group. Wayne Follis says hello. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. And some of these other people over here as well. So if y'all are out there, let me know how you feel about the Cotton Bowl coming up. Also, who do you want as the Tigers' next coach? Has Ron Silverfield won you over? Is it over already before it started? Because we already know he wants a job. We're hearing rumors and rumblings about a former Tiger high school coaching legend, if you want to call him that, Hugh Freeze. Is rumbling in the background. He went to Liberty University for a sabbatical, and now he's ready to jump back into the main ranks of college football. And Memphis is in his crosshairs. And reportedly, Memphis is looking at him as well. Now, we know he can coach. We cannot deny the job he did at Ole Miss despite all the cheating and lying. Question is, do we forgive it and forget? Or do we keep it moving and put a caution tape around Hugh Freeze? So we shall see. Going back to Phoenix, to Finn, I call him Finn here. He says Tannehill has got our offense rolling. Tighten up. Yes, sir. Patriots got cheating again yesterday. By what, the Bengals is breaking? What? You gotta hit me with that one. GKP says, like Kanye, flashing lights. All right, GKP, I'm gonna see you later, but I'm about to get out of here as well. I know you're probably about to start up. If not, probably got something going on. Finn also says the Patriots got caught cheating again by filming the Bengals yesterday. Really? What? I need to read that. I ain't gonna say it ain't true because we know how the Patriots roll. Rod says antifreeze. Be sure y'all load up on the antifreeze for the freezing winter months. And get rid of the freeze factor. So shout out to Rod for those comments. But that's going to do it for me today. Just a little quick edition of Talkback Live Sports. I will be back tomorrow as well for a fuller episode. We have the Business of Sports segment with Dominic Lawson. Y'all stay tuned for that because he's got some thoughts on some things as well. Also, tune in tomorrow morning, Talk Back Live with Bob and Josh, which is myself. For me and Bob, our thoughts on all things Memphis. We talk mostly sports this morning, but usually we're news, sports, weather, traffic, everything you want, hot topics of discussion, whether that be news, politics, anything else going on, topics of discussion, interesting things that we want to bring up, all of that each and every morning right here on Talk Back Live Network. And so that's going to do it for me on today, man. So without any further ado, I am Joshua Midget, co-founder of Talk Back Live Network and host of Talk Back Live Sports. And we will talk to you guys next time.
After a night of jubilation, a dose of reality.
He was a coach that I felt comfortable with, communicated really well with, and appreciated the time we spent together.
Memphis lost their coach to the greener pastures of the ACC. It's an ever-present 5 program, but has the job, but says he's in it for the long haul.
This is the job I've wanted. This is not one of those where I take the job and I'm looking at other jobs. It's not a stepping stone for me. This is one of those 20 years from now we'll be having this press conference and I'll be heading off into retirement. And some of you younger folks in the room will still be around and we'll say, it's been a fun ride. I'm off to the boat.
Memphis AD Laird Veach said interim head coach Ryan Silverfield is a candidate for the job. His department will not use a firm. Instead, Veach will lead the search.
It is truly an open search, and we'll entertain candidates of all levels from all locations. We're going to find the best coach for Memphis football.
Let them go search the country. Let them go search the country. I think when it's all said and done, we'll sit back and hopefully whenever I get a chance to sit down with them, whoever they met with, so be it. It's always going to be about what we can accomplish here and continue in our process to have success here, and hopefully they see that as well.
We're going to move forward quickly, but we're going to do it in a way that allows us to make the best decision. So I won't put a time frame on it.
Under Norvell, assistant coaches came and went. Silverfield is the only one who was with Norvell from the start.
As you guys know, if you love Memphis, it'll love you back. And it's been a unique experience here, and so honored to call this place home. And like I told you guys, and every year it gets asked, well, why'd you turn down this job, or why'd you do that? And for me, I feel like I got the best job in the country, and that will always stay that way.
If Mike Norvell's new job permits him to coach the Cotton Bowl for Memphis, Laird Veach said they would entertain the conversation. But for right now, Memphis is acting under the assumption that Silverfield will coach the game for the Tigers. At the University of Memphis, Clayton Collier, Local 24 Sports.
CJ Used Appliances, located at 3530 Jackson Avenue here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances has the best prices in town. Sales and service, heating and air. Also the best appliances you'll find anywhere in the Mid-South. Refrigerators, microwave stoves, washers and dryers, deep freezers, dishwashers, whatever you need in used appliances. And folks will tell you they're the best used appliances anywhere you'll find. That's CJ Used Appliances, 3530 Jackson Avenue. All appliances come with warranty. You can call them at 901-487-7882. Again, 901-487-7882. CJ Used Appliances.
Big Graphics Printing, located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, a complete print shop for all your printing needs. They do it all: color copy, resume, funeral program, rubber stamp, full color business cards, wedding and graduation invitations, and more. 30 plus years of quality work and service. They're open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Located at 890 East Range Road in Memphis, Tennessee, 901-345-9294. Big Graphics Printing.
CNS Motors Auto Sales, located at 2508 Southern Avenue, here in Memphis, Tennessee. Call them at 901-323-8778. CNS Motors Auto Sales has been around since 1984. Go by and see Chris Day for some of the best pre-owned and used vehicles in the city. They have SUVs, minivans, cars, trucks, whatever you're looking for in pre-owned used vehicles. Hey, you can find it right there at CNS Motors Auto Sales. See Chris since 1984. They will treat you right. Call them at 901-323-8778. That's 901-323-8778. 2508 Southern Avenue, CNS Motors Auto Sales.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson with the Tennessee Highway Patrol, here to explain the Tennessee Hands-Free Law, which is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019. In Public Chapter 412, it makes it illegal for a driver to hold a cell phone or a mobile device with any part of their body, to write, send, or read any text-based communication, to reach for a cell phone or a mobile device in a manner that requires the driver to no longer be in a seated driving position or properly restrained by a seatbelt, to watch a video or a movie on a cell phone or a mobile device, and to record or broadcast video on a cell phone or a mobile device. So, can I still talk on my cell phone while driving? Yes. A driver is permitted to use an earpiece, headphone device, or device worn on a wrist to conduct a voice-based communication. The driver may use one button on a cell phone or mobile device to initiate or terminate voice communication, and voice-based communication may also be used to send a text message. Learn more at handsfreetn.com.